In the business, there's a lot of business directors that give you advice. How do you build up your network outside of the business as well?
So my best advice when it comes to networking is first, develop your own skill. Because when you network with people, especially when you're starting out, a lot of people feel like, oh, network is your net worth. When I network, I'm automatically going to get richer. That is true to a certain extent, but if you have no value to provide to other people, they're not going to be interested because you only have 0.5 seconds to make a first impression on someone when they meet you. And one thing that I've done, like when I told you the part of my story where I started out my business, like I was broke, like I was in debt, I was at uni, I didn't have much money, but I would always have the ability to network with other people, like 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure entrepreneurs. Just because, number one, I had the skill of, speaking with people and connecting with them, and obviously storytelling. That's a big thing to get people to resonate with you. And another thing as well is I had a skill. My skill at the time was content, so that was like a cheat code. Whenever I had my camera, like everyone wants content, everyone needs content. And another thing is like the way in which I spoke. So people wouldn't know that I was broke at the time, but one thing that I highly recommend for anyone is to embody the version of yourself that's already making multiple 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, because that reality of, you traveling, you have already scaling your business and all of that kind of jazz, it's already happened. It's just in a different timeline. And the way in which you bring that into the actual timeline now that we're in is by focusing on the inputs. That's one mistake that so many people make. They don't focus on inputs. They just focus like, oh, I need to make 5K a month, 10K a month, 100K a month.
You just stress about something that's not happening.
Exactly. But the thing that you can control is how you feel now. Like, how does the version of yourself making over 6 figures a year, like how do they act? Do they go out a lot? Do they club a lot? Or are they focused on what they need to get done with the business? So that's my piece of advice. And in the process of me getting to where I am, like I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I actually got home. I became homeless, like in the process, and that's where I've landed into this field, door to door. So when I told you I scaled my money, my agency with Facebook ads, I got to like 5K a month, and to me that was a lot of money at the time because I was a uni student and all I've known was just being broke. But then afterwards, I lost everything because I got complacent. Oh, that guy's in front of my camera. No. What's his name? Oh. All right, let's go. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, so I got lost in the sauce. So I moved into a penthouse in Canary Wharf in London, and I was partying, and I was living with people that was way ahead of me, but they were already making like 20K, 30K a month, and I was only at 5K a month, so I lived way above my means, and I lost everything. I got complacent because they didn't have friends in person. They made their money online, but I was kind of popular at uni, so then I would do that. So fast forward, I graduated in economics, first class, lost everything, and then that's when I had to leave London, and then I got into door-to-door sales actually. I was applying for an office job, and the advertisement was like, oh yeah, you'll be in the office 9 to 5. I was like, oh perfect. I could work on my business and rebuild whilst doing this, but it turned out to be door-to-door sales. So I was selling BT Wi-Fi. I only lasted a month.
And why do you think you only lasted a month?
I wasn't in the right office. If I was in, let's say, Roll's office or anyone's office here, I would have definitely stayed because I like the way that it's transparent and the opportunities that you guys have are insane, which is great. And I have so much respect for you guys, but I'm glad I did that because I needed to do door-to-door sales. I needed to go through that character building. And then after that, I was like, fuck this, I need to go back to London, that's where the money's at. I went homeless in the process because I found a place where you clean kitchens and toilets in exchange for free accommodation. And then, yeah, like that same year, 12 months from being homeless, I was only homeless for like 3 months doing that stuff. I would do 8:30 to 12:30, clean kitchens, take out the trash in exchange for the free accommodation, whilst trying to work on my business and do VIP hospitality, so like as a bartender, as a waiter. And then that same year, so January to March I was doing that. I managed to like land some clients for content. That, my first ever client, I took him from 50K a month with his business to 200K a month in June that same year. And then the end of the year he got to 500K a month. with his online business. And then in that process, I personally got to my first like 15K month, and I didn't even realize it because I was just like working so hard. And then like 6 months after that, I got to 60K a month with my business. So all of that happens in a short space of time, like 1 year. But leading up to that, I had to go through years of like failure. So right now I'm at the stage where I have already blown up other people's personal brands. Like for example, just for some context, I'm working with Roll. I'm helping him scale his personal brand because personal branding is insurance. It allows you to pivot into any industry, which is why I highly recommend you guys document what you're doing now. Like let's say when you're out in events, how you feel, like the wins you're getting, the losses you go through as well, because I recorded that on my phone. I can show you as well right now. And I'm glad I did, because now no one can ever say, oh, you come from daddy's money or whatever. I literally documented me knocking on doors, getting shouted at, and like me taking out the trash and stuff like that. So,
did you just film on your phone?
On my phone, yeah. I couldn't even afford a camera back then. So, yeah, that's my biggest advice. Document the journey, because one thing that Roll regrets is he wishes he documented his journey for the past 10 years. Like, he has an insane story, and I'm helping him get it out there. And that's why right now we're going ham on like putting content out and documenting it. So yeah, just put out content, because like, listen to this.
I always said we should make a documentary as like an office.
You should, and just like put it out there. Like, listen to this. What is the worst thing that can happen if you put out content? Oh no, I'm getting more people that see what I do, and they want to be like learn my skill, because people pay for that. Like for example, right now, if someone wants a consultation with me, I charge minimum 1K for an hour of my time, because I've gotten to that stage where my time is very, very like scarce, and I don't do any videography or photography for anyone else. I'm only doing it for Roll now, because like this is a big project that I really want to blow up, and the fact that he's Filipino like me as well, like I want more Filipino representation in the online entrepreneurship space. So it's a good collaboration. But what I would do if I was in your guys' position, you're already making money in the direct sales space, and you're learning the skill of sales. As they said at the beginning of the talk, sales is the most valuable skill you can have. All people that run, you know, the biggest companies in the world and having the most impact, they all master the skill of sales. And all sales is mastering the art of communication. Because when you can communicate well with other people, your points, like you can win arguments, you can persuade people, and obviously all the psychological stuff. But it allows you to, let's say, you might have the best skill in the world, you might have the best product in the world, but if you don't put it out there and you don't communicate it well, you're not going to be able to really achieve like longevity in any business. And content is just that solidification of credibility and proof. And the thing is, like, let's say I don't know if you're at a stage where you have people in your team or whatsoever, but let's say when you guys, I know you guys run Impact, right? When you do Impact, you should record it. Why? Because you can, let's say in person, I'm having this conversation with 1, 2, 3, 4 of you. 4 of you are listening to me. But since I will put this out online, this can get hundreds, thousands of views, and it's reaching more people. So the amount of effort I'm putting in to speak to you guys now, like infinite leverage of reaching more people. And yeah, it's just compounding over time in terms of like, the more content you put out, obviously, when it picks up, you'll be able to help more people. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Yeah. So, roll the goat. Huh?
Do you just film content and edit, or do you like manage social media?
What do I do personally? So, what I do personally, I work with people like Roll, 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs that want to scale their business. And personal branding is what I specialize in. I have a team from all around the world, UK, US, Asia, and yeah, content distribution is very, very key to like sustainability in any business whatsoever.
You see, when you started off, getting your first clients, what did you do? Like, what were the steps that you took with first clients?
Yeah.
You guys just obviously, we were talking earlier, me and Harrison.
Yeah.
Right now, we're trying to help like the owners with their social media.
Oh yeah.
We're not getting paid for it.
Oh, you're trying.
Getting a testimonial, but we're just doing it for a few weeks to get a testimonial. So what did you do at the start?
I provided so much value. I didn't expect to get paid as well.
Yeah.
But when I showed immense value, there's the reciprocity bias. You know that, right? Reciprocity. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. So when I over-delivered on that, got the testimonial, got the results, that allowed me to present that to other future prospects. But now since I have the expertise, I can charge for that.
Yeah.
Makes sense? What are you providing?
Just
like you said, like if you got your
Instagram, so supporting Instagram, then growing the Instagram.
Yeah. Right, I'll tell you one thing. So one thing that a lot of people think is you need to go viral in order to, build a strong audience and make money. But the most important thing you should focus on is your messaging. So for example, with Roll has been in this industry for over 10 years. And a lot of people have been impacted by Roll, like through the events like this where you speak at, and every day when you attend in your office when you do meetings for people. And I've spent the past few months with Roll in his office, and I was listening into some of the things he was saying, and I'm like, wow, people in my space, like myself and other people, would charge thousands of dollars for this advice, but you guys are getting it for free, which is the amazing thing about the industry you're in. You get direct access to people like Roll, who've been in the space for over a decade, generated a lot of revenue for clients and himself. Now, going back to your question of how do you grow online? Dial in your messaging and speak to a clear ICP, which is your ideal client profile. And one thing that I would recommend is, like, for example, for me, I have 3 archetypes. One is people like Roll who are business owners, they've already made a lot of money, but they want to transition online. Another archetype that I help are people that just want to grow their personal brand and monetize it. And the third archetype is people that may have already, tried stuff out, but it didn't work for them online, and then I just help them get direction. So for you, like in the space that you're in, you guys are mastering the art of sales, right? So just document it and give value on that. Because when someone comes across your video and they're in the sales space, they'll resonate with that more than if someone random who doesn't know anything about sales or isn't even interested in sales, right? And the way in which the algorithm works is the more specific you are with the content that you put out, it's going to automatically find people who would like the similar content and then start watching you. Because let's say you put out a video on how to close more people, stuff like that. If I'm looking for videos on how to improve my sales skills, I'll probably click on that. But if I'm not looking for how to improve sales, let's say I'm looking for how to do more kick-ups, I'm not going to watch that video. So the way in which the algorithm works is does this person watch this kind of content? Yes or no? If yes, it's going to show it to that person, more likely. So messaging and creating content for your ideal customer is what you should focus on. Because, that's it.
You get in contact with Roll?
With Roll, I think you just said. So I was on a business ski trip in Switzerland. My friend made a story like we're in this room now, and he replied to the story saying, "Yo, that Don next to you is definitely Filipino." And then you recently just at that time did the event with Tammy's community, and the guys were mesmerized. They were like, "Yo, Roll's got God tier aura. He's such a G." And you said to Tammy at the time that you want to work on your personal brand. And since Tammy remembered that, he was like, "Oh, I need to connect you to Jero." He literally specialized in personal branding. And then after the trip, me and Roll connected. We met up for dinner, and then that was it. And that just goes to show the power of having a good personal brand and really mastering your skill. Because if I didn't master the art of content creation, and if I didn't build my reputation, role would not work with me. So it's like, for example, if a random person came up, I'm sure you get a load of random DMs of people trying to pitch you, and I get a load of random DMs of people trying to pitch me. But when I go into their profile and they don't have anything on their profile, I'm not going to give them the time of day. It's like, you're telling me you're going to blow up my account, but you have no profile picture and you have 2 followers.
So when you were outreaching, then what did you do to make your outreach a whole lot better then?
Personalization.
Really?
When you do outreach and it's clearly copy-paste, no one's going to give you the time of day because people are so used to it. But if you personalize your outreach and go that extra step, like what I've done is I make personalized Loom videos and audits.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
Yeah, I know that.
So yeah. And then another tip is like, let's say if I wanted to land you and you didn't know who I was, what I would do is like make a Loom video where I'm breaking down, let's say, how Alex Hormozi and Grant Cardone's use their personal brand. So that's already a form of familiarity and context. Because if you're in the online space or like business space, you know these people. And if someone's made a video and you can already see on the thumbnail, there's a picture of Alex Hormozi or Grant Cardone or whoever next to your profile, and I compared the both, they'll be like, oh, what is this video about? I'm going to click it. And if I broke down like how his personal brand was working well and the steps that you can implement to improve yours, you're going to watch and you'll be like, oh wow, this guy took the time out of his day to do this. And it's not copy-paste. Another thing as well is people, as humans, we hate to be compared to, right? Which is why competitiveness is so important. So for example, when Roll was talking about his story the other day, he said the turning point for him was when he got told at one of these events, oh, Roll, where have you been? You used to be a superstar, right? And when you got told you used to be a superstar and you were being compared to other people, how did that make you feel?
I was like, I'm going to fuck some shit up.
There you go. So if someone comes up to you and they say, oh, look at this guy. He's in a position that you want to be in. You're trying and these are things that you need to do. And you hit the pain points, they're going to want to take action. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my advice. All right, cool. Let's get it. That's all good.
Available. Can I access this video?
Yeah.
Can I get your
Sorry?
Can I get your contacts?
Yeah, take my Instagram. Take my Instagram. Yeah, I've got a free community, so just tap in.
What I was going to say, where can I access this?
I'm going to upload it. I'll send it to you as well. Yeah, it's all good. That's me. I'll follow you back. Who do you know? Oh, great. Yes, sir.